The most powerful mindset in the room is usually the one nobody notices. It doesn't brag, it doesn't argue loudly, it doesn't rush to prove anything. In fact, most people overlook it completely, and that's exactly why it dominates. While others compete for attention, this mindset competes for position. While others chase recognition, this mindset builds leverage. And by the time anyone realizes what's happening, the game is already decided. Today we're talking about the underestimated mindset that dominates. And if you truly understand this, you'll start moving differently from almost everyone around you. Before we go deeper, take a second to like this video and subscribe to Playing Possum. This channel is all about quiet strength, strategic thinking, and long-term power. If you want to win without noise, you're in the right place. Let's start with a simple truth. Most people are addicted to being seen. They want validation. They want to look confident, intelligent, important. So they speak quickly. They react emotionally. They show all their cards early. They think dominance comes from visibility. But visibility attracts resistance. The more visible you are, the more people measure you. The more they analyze you, the more they prepare against you. The underestimated mindset understands something different. It understands that real dominance is built quietly. When you are underestimated, people relax around you. They talk more freely. They reveal their thoughts. They expose weaknesses. They underestimate your awareness. And awareness is power. If you know what others are planning while they don't know what you are planning, you hold the advantage. That's the core of this mindset. It's not about being weak. It's about appearing neutral while thinking deeply. Think about your workplace. There's always someone trying to stand out loudly. They volunteer for everything. They highlight their achievements constantly. They want management to see their value immediately. Sometimes it works short-term, but it also creates pressure. Expectations rise. Competition increases. Critics appear. Now imagine someone else. Calm, observant, consistent. They don't talk about their goals much. They don't announce every move, but they deliver steady results. They build relationships quietly. They learn the system inside out. Over time, that quiet consistency becomes undeniable. And because they never tried to force dominance, their rise feels natural. That's the underestimated mindset in action. On Playing Possum, we focus on this philosophy. You don't need to roar to be powerful. You need to understand positioning. Positioning is more important than noise. When you position yourself correctly, outcomes become easier. But positioning requires patience, and patience is rare. Most people react. They react to comments. They react to criticism. They react to competition. Reaction puts you in a defensive position. The underestimated mindset does not react instantly. It observes first. It asks, what is really happening here? What is the long-term move? Emotional control becomes a weapon, because when others lose control, they reveal information. And information creates leverage. Let's talk about ego. Ego wants applause. Ego wants recognition right now. But ego's expensive. When you try to prove yourself constantly, you burn energy. You show your limits. You reveal your strategy. The underestimated mindset protects energy. It doesn't need immediate applause. It understands that long-term positioning beats short-term praise. There is also power in simplicity. People often hide weak thinking behind complex language. They try to sound impressive. But the underestimated mindset asks simple questions. Clear questions. Direct questions. Why? What happens next? How does that work? These simple questions force clarity. They expose weak logic, and because they sound basic, people don't feel attacked. They answer openly. That's quiet dominance. In competitive environments, this mindset becomes even more dangerous. When you look like a threat, others prepare for you. They train harder. They study you. They challenge you. But when you look ordinary, they ignore you. And being ignored gives you time. Time to improve. Time to build skills. Time to strengthen systems. By the time they realize your growth, catching up becomes difficult. This is why the underestimated mindset focuses on the long game. The long game changes everything. Short-term thinkers chase attention. Long-term thinkers build foundations. Foundations are invisible at first, but without them, nothing stands. When you build quietly, you don't just build results. You build stability. And stability creates confidence that doesn't depend on external validation. Think about social dynamics. If you constantly try to dominate conversations, people either challenge you or withdraw from you. But when you listen more than you speak, people trust you. They feel understood. They open up. And the more they open up, the more you understand their motivations. Motivation drives behavior. If you understand what drives someone, you can predict their moves. And prediction is control. The underestimated mindset also values timing. Timing multiplies impact. If you show full strength too early, people adjust. If you reveal your plans too soon, people interfere. But if you move quietly and reveal strength at the right moment, the impact feels larger. Surprise amplifies perception, and perception influences authority. There's another layer here. When you accept being underestimated, you free yourself from pressure. You don't feel the need to perform constantly. You don't feel watched all the time. That freedom lets you experiment. It lets you learn from mistakes without public judgment. Growth accelerates in privacy. Now let's bring this into personal development. Many people pretend they know more than they do. They avoid asking questions because they don't want to look inexperienced. But the underestimated mindset embraces learning. It's not afraid to say, I don't know, because saying I don't know opens the door to knowledge, and knowledge compounds. 5 years of quiet learning beats 5 years of loud pretending. This mindset also handles criticism differently. When criticized, most people defend themselves immediately. They argue, they justify, they explain, but the underestimated mindset listens first. It filters emotion, it extracts useful information. Even from unfair criticism, it looks for lessons. That ability to stay calm under pressure builds resilience, and resilience dominates in the long run. Let's talk about leadership. The loudest leader in the room is not always the strongest. Strong leaders often listen more than they speak, and they gather perspectives. They measure the room. They respond instead of react. Because leadership is not about control, it's about influence. And influence grows when people feel heard. The underestimated mindset understands that power is often invisible. It doesn't chase the spotlight. It builds competence. It builds networks. It builds trust. Trust is slow to build but hard to break. And once trust is established, influence becomes natural. In business, this mindset helps in negotiations. If you appear overly confident or aggressive, the other side becomes defensive. But if you appear curious and measured, they relax. They reveal their priorities, they expose flexibility, and that information shapes your strategy. You win not by overpowering, but by understanding. Emotionally, this mindset requires inner security. You must know your value, even when others don't see it. If you depend on external validation, being underestimated will hurt. But if you are secure internally, you can afford to wait. You can afford to let results speak later. The underestimated mindset also protects you from burnout. When you constantly try to prove yourself, you exhaust yourself. But when you focus on steady growth, you preserve energy. Energy management is crucial. Life is long. Success is a marathon, not a sprint. Ask yourself honestly, where are you trying too hard to be seen? Where are you reacting too quickly? Where could you benefit from observing more and speaking less? Small changes in behavior can shift outcomes dramatically. On playing possum, this is the core lesson. Appear calm, appear ordinary. Think strategically, move precisely. Let others chase noise while you build position. Let others compete loudly while you strengthen quietly. And remember this, being underestimated is not an insult. It's an opportunity. It gives you space, it gives you time, it gives you leverage. When people don't expect much from you, you have freedom to exceed expectations. Eventually, there will be a moment when revealing your strength changes everything. A key presentation, a major opportunity, a turning point. When that moment comes, you step forward confidently. And because you are underestimated, your performance feels powerful. That shift in perception can redefine how people see you. But you don't chase that moment. You prepare for it, quietly, consistently, strategically. That preparation is the real domination. Not loud victories, not dramatic displays, but steady positioning over time. If this mindset resonates with you, comment below and tell me one situation where you will start applying it this week. Share this video with someone who needs to understand that loud does not mean strong. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Playing Possum for more insights on quiet dominance, emotional control, and long-term strategy. The world celebrates noise, but noise fades. Position lasts. And the person who builds position while others chase applause is the one who quietly, steadily, and powerfully dominates in the end.